This was the biggest Roblox game in 2016, and this is it nearly 10 years later. It looks, well, different, but that's one of the few Roblox games that rose to the top of the platform, only to fall. In this video, you will see developers rise to fame, and sometimes get exposed. So to start, let's begin with Roblox High School. And it all began back in 2009, a time when Roblox looked nothing like it does today. But that was until this player joined. His name was Cindering, and he thought there was a lack of games on Roblox. So around 2 months after joining, he made his first game, Roblox Middle School. And while we don't know much about this, we know it got revamped in 2013, and along with it getting revamped, the game name was changed to Roblox High School, and it started to develop a small fan base. Maybe his dream of becoming a Roblox game dev could come true. Cindering continued to update his games, seeing more and more players, until he hit the milestone of 1,000 players.
Surely the player counts will keep rising, right?
They continued to update the game, even adding seasonal updates, and this seemed to help the player counts. But over time, the game started to die out. All of the code in the game was starting to get old and broken, and even when it wasn't broken, cheaters started to invade the game. And because of this, the players started to drop. So something needed to change. They could 1. Keep updating the game until it slowly dies out, probably not the best idea, or make a new one that could bring back the player base.
Not a bad idea.
Which is why a few years later, they announced the second game, and shortly after, released it. And because of this, they started to update the first game less and less, until they didn't even update it at all. The game was renamed to Roblox High School Legacy, and the second one became the owner's main focus. But for now, the owner continued to update Roblox High School too, abandoning his first game and leaving it to rot. He would update the second game over and over, until he stopped. Wait, what? Why would you stop updating one of the most successful games on Roblox? This game probably made hundreds of thousands of dollars, so why would he stop? Well, the player counts started to fall, and then he shifted away from the game, moving on to another one called Super Striker League. But wait, low player counts can't be the only reason he quit working on the game. Like, remember, this used to be one of the biggest games on Roblox. Why would the players start to fall? Well, it's simple. The game was too old. The quality wasn't up to today's standards, and knowing there was no way to do that again because of old code, it was abandoned. The dev just moved on to its next game, which was doing quite well at the time. But wait, we completely forgot about the legacy version. Let's see how that one's doing. Well, that's not good. And do you want to know something else that's not good? I'm not at 10,000 subscribers yet, and I have 3 months to double my sub count, so please subscribe. Back to the video. Since the game stopped updating, there was no moderation in the game, and because of that, the first game had to get shut down, so you can only play private servers. With both games at low players and a lack of updates, these games are officially dead. Besides one thing, they opened back up the legacy version, which was a good thing to do. This developer may have fallen from the spotlight, but their story still has hope, a chance to start again. Our next developer though, they shouldn't have even started in the first place. Back in the early 2010s, when Roblox was still simple, no layered clothing, no UGC, no insane simulators, a developer had an idea. What if we bring other games to Roblox? So Ripull joined Roblox with one goal: make a successful Roblox game. And in summer of 2010, he made his first successful game, Roblox Derby. In Roblox Derby, players spawned into a massive arena, with their cars surrounded by others doing the exact same thing, trying to crash, destroy and survive other players' cars. For a game during this time to be created, it was shockingly advanced, and because of this, his game would go on to achieve many great things, like getting hundreds of players at any given moment and capping around 1,000 players. But Ripull wanted to recreate the success of this game, so month after month, he strategized and planned to recreate that success. So he got an idea, combined the fun of Roblox's old minigame experiences into one place, creating the idea of Ripull Minigames, which would go on to gain players over time. But now he had a new challenge: keep the game with a stable player base, but no other games copy and take his players. So month after month, he would update and update, going from a small game to one of the largest. But Ripull wasn't the only one making a minigame game. Around that time, another developer, typical type, saw what Ripull made and decided to take a shot at it himself. Welcome to Epic Minigames. A better version of Ripull Minigames, with smoother gameplay, better visuals, and way more updates. Because this game was so well made, and players were enjoying it so much, it started to get featured in events. It achieved thousands of players online and tons of Robux rolling in. But for Ripull on the other hand, things weren't doing that good. Ripull Minigames slowly faded away. While Epic Minigames kept growing, Ripull's creation was left behind. Updates became rarer, players moved on, and what was once a community full of life turned silent. It was the quiet, heartbreaking end of a game that defined an era.
Being claiming that he was talking to a minor for scamming developers who worked in his group Rovive. Information available at that time, the conclusion was that any one of these claims was a possibility.
So Ripull isn't a good person. Instead of developing his games like any other developer would, he would not do the best stuff. And well, I'm not going to talk about it here, mainly because I don't like drama. Just search up Ripull Exposed and you'll find a lot of videos. But yeah, this guy turned out not to be that good of a person. Luckily that isn't an issue for the next person. Back in 2013, Nikilis wasn't famous, just a small dev from Canada making random games for fun. But he wanted to try something different, so he found the game Mad Murder, and being inspired, he created Murder Mystery. But wait, this is a video about the death of classic Roblox games. How did Murder Mystery, one of the biggest games in the world, die when it has thousands of players active right now? Well, we're not talking about Murder Mystery 2, or MM2, we're talking about Murder Mystery. The original version, and a version that was almost lost to time. But when Nikilis made Murder Mystery, things didn't go good instantly. In fact, they didn't do good at all, but with a few updates, his game could hit the front page. And in a time where visits meant Robux, he was beginning to make a lot of money, but he couldn't let it slip. He had seen the fall of other developers and knew he couldn't go down that path, so he locked in, working on his game, making sure players didn't fall and instead would rise. But wait, how did the game actually work? Well, you'd spawn into a map being given one of 3 roles: innocent, sheriff, or murderer. When inside, your goal was to either survive, kill the murderer, or kill the rest of the players. So yeah, very basic. Nikilis kept improving his game. He added new maps, and coins you could earn from surviving. You could spend those coins on new weapons, simple at first, but it gave players something good to grind for. But the thing is though, Nikilis' game was starting to die, because again, as shown in every other story of this video, the game was just too old. All of the code was broken, so Nikilis had one idea, something that could make or break his game, because instead of making a separate game, he just updated the previous one. Welcome to Murder Mystery 2. Nikilis recoded his entire game. I'm talking new maps, features, and trading. This new version got way more players right as soon as it launched, and every single year, the players would rise, getting to the point where his game was one of the largest on the platform. One thing the game does that not many other games out there do is updates every single time there's a new season. So like for summer, there's a summer update where there's a new currency. Same with winter, and same with Halloween. With each of these updates, it just keeps their players in the game. This game's the top 10 most famous Roblox game, with a lot of visits, and overall being one of the faces of Roblox. But doesn't this tell you something? If he didn't remake his entire game, his game would be dead to this day. And that goes for all these developers. Roblox High School, and well, Ripull Minigames, but we don't talk about him. If games were updated, they'd still be alive to this day. But because of old code, Roblox's systems updating, these original games were forgotten. So what should you take away from this video? Well, 1, don't be a predator. But 2, make an actually good game. These 2 games were actually good, and MM2 especially, that stuck with times, still good to this day. Because as long as you continue updating your game, it'll never be forgotten. Oh, and also if you enjoyed this video, subscribe please. This took a while, and I really need to get views. I just unplugged my headphones, what am I doing, bro? I'm including that, I don't even care.